All right. Sorry for being, I kept you on hold, but let's start. Okay. So we were discussing about sub-languages, right? Yesterday we were discussing about the update command, correct? In DML, that is data manipulation language, we have three commands, that is insert, update, and delete. Update in the sense whenever we wanted to make any changes, we will use update command, correct? And the syntax will be update table name, set column name equals to value, where condition. Where we wanted to update that when we need to write it inside where clause, right? And definitely whenever we are using update command and delete command, we need to be careful about the where clause, okay? And of course without using where clause also sometimes we can use update command, like we saw one example yesterday, right? Here we wanted to give the bonus for all the employees. So definitely I didn't mention any where clause here because I wanted to give this bonus for every employee, correct? So sometimes according to the requirement we need to think logically whether we need to use where clause or not. Okay, and as I said, we have one safe feature here called as safe update mode, right? Yesterday only I show you. For the first time whenever you are using update command or delete command, you will get this error stating, you know stay safe update mode is turned on. To disable that, toggle to the preferences SQL editor. Yesterday I shown you, right? In edit we will have preferences, then we need to click on SQL editor, scroll it down, last option we will have save updates. You need to uncheck this box, click on OK, and after that you need to click on this reconnect to DBMS, then only that changes will applied. Okay, so this is about update command which we already done yesterday and I hope it is clear, correct? Next we have delete command. Okay, delete command is basically used to remove any particular row. Okay, if we wanted to remove any particular rows from the table, we will use delete command. Okay, use it to remove any particular row or rows. Let's see, suppose first what we need to do, we need to activate the database. I'm just activating database by using use command, use SQL 7. It got activated. Now let me display the data, select star from employees. Okay, in this we have three rows. Suppose I don't want this third row and I wanted to delete this third row, then what we need to do, I'll use delete command and the syntax will be like delete from table name where condition, that is what we wanted to delete, that one we will write in inside where condition. Okay, so let's see, delete from table name, that is employees table. I wanted to delete third row, so I'll just write where employee id equals to 3. So wherever my employee id is 3, that complete row will be deleted. Okay, that is how we will use delete command to okay, it got executed. Now let me display the data. Now we will have only two rows because we deleted third row. Okay, like that. So now let's discuss about drop versus truncate versus delete, one of the important interview question. Yesterday we discussed one interview question, that is difference between char and varchar, and this is one more important interview question. Drop, what is the difference between drop, truncate and delete command? Of course we don't have much differences, we need to just explain the functionality of this commands. Actually what will happen when drop will we will perform drop, the complete table will be removed, right? The complete table, whatever data we have inside table, everything will be removed permanently whenever we are using drop. But what will happen when we use truncate? Only the data inside the table will be removed, but the table structure will be as it is, right? Delete in the sense it will remove, we can able to remove any particular rows by using delete command. That is what we need to explain. Okay, by drop, complete table, that is table structure and table data. Truncate in the sense only table data, table structure will be same. Delete in the sense any particular rows. Okay, this is what we need to explain. And Yes, this is about DML commands. Okay. Whatever you wanted to delete, you can just delete by using delete command. DDL is done, DML is done. Next we have DCL, that is data control language. Okay, data control language. In this we have two commands. That is, one is grant and revoke. Okay, we have two commands in DCL, grant command and revoke command. Basically, DCL commands are used by database administrators. Okay, like every job role, here also we will have administrators as well as developers. Okay, admin people only will use this DCL commands, we don't use them, but still for knowledge purpose I'm explaining this concept. Okay, so basically what will happen, just now we understood about update command and delete command, right? If you forget using where clause, it will become it will become mess for us, it will create a problem for us. If I just forget using where clause, and if I just write that I wanted to update any value, it will get updated in all the rows, right? Delete also same, if I forget to use where clause, it will delete all the rows. Okay, so definitely whenever we are using update command and delete command, we need to be very careful. And because of these reasons, usually what will happen, if we are working in any job role, or else even if we work as SQL developers also, we don't have permission to access, we don't have access permissions to use most of the commands, especially DML commands. Because while using update and delete, we need to be careful, right? So every time we don't have permissions to use DML commands. Suppose if you are updating something or deleting something, and if you face an error stating access privilege denied. Okay, if you see this error, sometimes if we are updating or deleting anything, we will get this error called as error stating access privilege denied. That means we don't have access to use that particular command. Okay, at that time what we will do, we will reach out to our database administrators, to we will just reach out to our admin people, we will ask permission to give us, we will just request them to give the privileges for us or permissions for us to use on that particular table. Okay, suppose I'm trying to update something, I got an error stating access privilege denied, then I'll just either we will drop a mail or else we will raise a ticket according to our company rules. We will just contact our admin team, then what they will do, they will give permission for me to use the update command on that particular table. So in the process of giving permission, they will use this grant command. So grant command is used to give permissions. Technically, we will call it as privileges. Okay, privileges in the sense permission only to user. Suppose if I've got an error stating access privileged denied whenever I'm trying to update employees table, then they will give us, then they will give me permission by using grant command, and the syntax will be like grant privilege name on object name to user. Okay, so grant privilege name in the sense it can be update, delete, whatever it is. Suppose if I'm updating and I cannot able to update, then they will give me update permission on object name in the sense table name, that is on employees table, to user my name, like that. Okay, they will execute this command. Once they executed this command, I can able to use update command on employees table. Okay, that is what about grant. As I said, only admin people will use this, we don't use, but still we need to have an idea about what is this particular commands. That is the reason I'm explaining grant and revoke. Whenever we wanted to take any permissions, whenever we wanted to use any particular commands which we don't have permissions previously, we will just ask to admin people, then they will give us permission by executing this particular line by using grant command. Next, revoke. Once we are done with our work, again we need to inform to our admin team that we are done, and then we will take back the permission. They will take back the permission from us. Every time they won't, I mean, they won't give us the permission all the time. Okay, whenever it is necessary, whenever we are working on for that, but in that time only they will grant us permission. Once our work is done, then they will take back the permission by using revoke command. So use it to take back the privileges or permissions from user. Okay, syntax is also almost same. So revoke privilege name on object name from user. Okay, this is the syntax. Once they execute this particular thing, again I won't have access to use update command on employees table. Okay, like that. Am I clear?
Yes, Divya. Sorry for the late reply.
No problem, no problem. All right. So this is about DCL commands. Okay, grant and revoke. Next we have TCL commands. Okay, TCL commands, and we have three commands in it, that is commit, rollback and save point. All these three commands actually we will use parallelly. So let me explain all of them three parallelly. Okay, so first of all, commit command. Commit command is nothing but it is used to save data permanently in database. Okay, so commit is one command which is used to save the data permanently into the database. Basically what happened many years ago, like maybe 6 or 7 or 10 years ago, whenever we used to use Oracle SQL, SQL Server, all the tools or whatever databases were available previously, whenever we are using everything, whenever we are using those databases, what we need to do, we after doing every transaction, that means after doing every insert command, after applying every update command, delete command, whatever it is, it can be insert command, it can be update command, it can be delete command. After each command, after executing each command, we had to use this commit command. Then only the data whatever we inserted, deleted or updated, that used to save permanently into database. Suppose I inserted some data. After inserting the data, I need to use commit. Keyword is simple. The syntax is simple here. Just we will use a keyword called as commit and we will execute. So whatever data I inserted, that data used to save permanently into the database if I use only commit. If I forget using commit, whatever data I inserted, that won't save into the database. Okay, so definitely previously, this is not the current situation. Previously, commit is compulsory after everything whatever we do, after every query whatever we execute, except select. Select in the sense we will only display the data, right? We are not making any changes with the data. If we insert any data, update any data, delete any data, after every operation we need to definitely use commit command. Then only the changes will apply in the database. Then only the data will use to save permanently in the database, or else the data will lose. Okay, we will lose the data. So that is the situation previously. But nowadays all the tools whatever available in the market, those are auto commit tools. That is the reason so far we didn't use commit command, right? We inserted data, we updated, we deleted, but we didn't use commit command because this MySQL is also an auto commit tool. All the tools which are available in the market right now are auto commit tools. So no need of using commit command after every operation. Automatically, auto commit will be happened in the backend and the data will be saved permanently only. Okay, but when we will use commit command, in the sense whenever we wanted to use rollback. Here syntax is just a commit keyword. Okay, and when we nowadays in the current databases, when we are using commit command, in the sense whenever we are using rollback command. Okay, what is rollback in the sense? It's a kind of undo. Suppose in Excel file or text files, if you are writing anything and if you did any mistake, we will just undo it, right? We will just click on Control Z or we will click on undo option, and whatever we wrote, that used to remove, right? The same thing. Suppose I inserted some data or I updated some data and then I realized that is wrong and I wanted to remove that data, then what I can do, we have a rollback option. If I did a rollback, whatever recently update I did, that will be removed. Okay, So rollback is used to restore data either to last committed state or to the last save point. This is a definition of rollback. So we can undo the data. I'm saying that is we can restore the data, but up to which particular point we can undo, in the sense either to the last committed state or else to the last save point. I will explain about this by taking one example. Okay, suppose select star from employees. We have two rows here, 1 and 2, right? So first thing is that if you wanted to use rollback, you need to turn off auto commit option. Okay, you need to turn off auto commit option, because if the data is committed, that means the data is saved permanently into the database. We cannot undo or we cannot roll back the data which is already saved permanently. So when if you wanted to use rollback, you need to turn off the auto commit option, then only rollback will work. Okay, so to turn off the auto commit option, once again let me repeat. First of all, I said all these tools are auto committed tools, right? That is the reason we are not using commit command. Whatever data we inserted, deleted, updated, all those will be auto committed. That means all those data will be saved permanently into the database, right? Suppose if I wanted to use rollback, I cannot use rollback on the already committed data. First I need to turn off the auto commit option, then maybe I can suppose I want to update some data. Okay, I'm not sure about the code, or I'm not sure about whatever I'm writing. At that time, what I'll do, first I'll turn off the auto commit option. I'll try with one code. I will execute one update command. I'll check the output. If I got the same output whatever I'm expecting, then that is fine. Then once again I'll commit that whatever update is happened. If I performed commit, then that data will be saved permanently, and then I will turn on the auto commit option again. This is the process. Suppose after update, if I didn't get the output whatever I'm expecting, then what I can do, I can simply perform a rollback, so that whatever update I did, that will be removed, it will be restored. Okay, this is the process. let's see uh let's see this practically. So in employees table, I'm having already two rows which is already committed. That means this two rows is already saved permanently into the database. Now I wanted to insert some more rows, but before that I'm turning off the auto commit option. To turn off the auto commit option, we have one query, that is set auto commit equals to 0. If I say set auto commit equals to 0, that means the data will be, that means the auto commit option will be turned off. Okay, I'm executing. It got executed. Now auto commit option is not there. So now I'll insert some data here. Insert into employees table, maybe employee ID 3, employee name John, salary 80,000, date of joining bonus 8,000. Okay, I inserted third row. Let me insert fourth row also. So maybe 4, some salary randomly, date of joining, and 6,800 will be bonus. So I'm inserting third row and fourth row. Let's check. Syntax error. What happened? Insert into table name values. I forgot writing values keyword. Okay, it got inserted. Now once again, let me display this select statement. You can see I got 4 rows. But if you remember, let me write it here. What happened? First, I have 2 rows, which is already committed. And then I turn off auto commit option. And then I inserted the 2 rows. Okay. Now, if I use rollback, what will happen? It will restore the data to the last committed state. That means whenever we here, this is the last committed state, right? This two rows is already committed. Then I turn off the auto commit option. So whatever data I inserted after turning off the auto commit option, those data will only be restored. That data will only be removed. Okay, let's see how to use rollback. How to use rollback here, in the sense, just a keyword called as rollback. That's it. Okay, it got executed. Now if I again say select star from employees, we will have only two data, two rows. Let's check. See, we have only two rows, because after turning off auto commit option, whatever two rows I inserted, that one I mean that is removed, or that got restored after performing a rollback. Got my point? Any confusion? See, rollback, we have two points here. Either we can restore the data to the last committed state or last save point. We didn't discuss save point yet. I'll show you this also. But for now, we are just discussing about the last committed state. Last committed state is nothing but till last whatever data is committed, up to that data, the data will be restored. So these two rows are already committed. And after that, I turn off the auto commit option. After turning off auto commit option, whatever data I inserted, that one is removed, because I performed a rollback. It got restored to the last committed state. That is the reason now I got only two rows. Is this clear, Stravani?
It's clear.
Perfect. So this is about last committed state. Okay. Now, what is last save point? First, before understanding that, let's try to understand about what is save point. We have three commands here. That is commit, rollback, and save point. Commit in the sense it is used to save the data permanently into the database. Rollback in the sense we can just restore the data. And then save point. Save point in the sense it is used to save data temporarily. Temporarily at any particular point. Okay, any particular point. So commit is used to save data permanently, but save point is used to save data temporarily at any particular point. For example, now I'll show you this. Suppose currently I'm having two rows, right? Once again, I'll write it here. I'm having two rows, which is already committed. After that, we turned off auto commit option, right? Now I'm once again executing two more rows, whatever we wrote previously. I'll just write it here. Okay, I'm inserting this data. Now I'm defining a save point. Here the syntax of save point is simple. The syntax will be save point name. Okay, this is the syntax. So like save point, any name we can give as save point name. Maybe I'm giving as S1, like that. So here after turning off auto commit option, I inserted two rows, and then I'm defining one save point here. Save point S1 maybe. I'm executing this. Okay. And then I'll insert two more rows here. Okay, I'm inserting fifth row, maybe I'm just taking making small changes. Okay, I'm inserting this, just a minute, this is 6, right? 5 and 6. Now I'm inserting this data. It got inserted. Now what actually I did here, let me write it at the bottom. What exactly we did: two rows is already committed, then I turned off the auto commit option, then I inserted two more rows, then I executed one, I created one save point, and again I inserted two more rows. Okay, What is the use of this save point? In a sense, what is save point actually used to save data temporarily at any particular point? Temporarily, if we wanted to store data at anywhere, we will define save point. That is, after defining save point, whatever two rows are inserted, that two rows will be temporarily saved in this save point S1. Why we will use save points? In a sense, suppose for example, I turned off the auto commit option. I inserted four rows like this. Okay, normally I inserted four rows like 3, 4, 5, and 6. In that, I realized last two rows I inserted wrong. Okay, these two rows are only wrong. Third and fourth row is correct only. But if I say rollback, what will happen? After auto commit option, whatever I inserted, that is the four rows, third, four, five, and six rows will be removed. But I don't want to remove third and fourth. I only wanted to remove five and six. So in that scenarios, we will use save point option so that we can roll back to that particular save point. Rolling back to the save point in the sense, after defining save point, whatever data I inserted, that data only will be removed. This 3 and 4 will be as it is. So we have two, you know, two, what I can say, two methods or two stages. Either we can roll back to the last committed state wherever we committed up to which particular point the data is already committed, and that is nothing but at point wherever we turn off the auto commit option. After that, whatever we did, everything will be restored if we are using last committed state. And if we wanted to, if you don't want to remove all the data, only some particular data if you wanted to remove, in between you can just define some save points and you can roll back to that particular save point. Okay, that is a concept. Okay, now let's see, suppose how to roll back to that particular state point. If I use a normal keyword called as rollback, then it will roll back to the last committed state. But if I wanted to roll back to particular save point, then I need to write like this: roll back to S1, because S1 is my save point. I'm saying that I wanted to roll back up to S1. That is, after S1, whatever data I inserted, fifth and sixth will be removed. Okay, roll back to S1. It got executed. Now let's display the data once again. Select star from employees. We will have four rows, right? Because fifth and sixth rows I inserted after save point, so that is removed. 3 and 4 is there as it is. So like that, all these three commands are we will use parallelly only. Commit in the sense it is used to save data permanently into the database, and whenever you wanted to use rollback, then you need to turn off the auto commit option, because the data which is already committed or the data which is already permanently saved can't be rolled back. We can't restore that data. That is the reason we need to turn off the auto commit option. Okay, after turning off the auto commit option, whatever data we are inserting, if we wanted to remove all that data, then we will use normal rollback keyword so that it will restore to the last committed state. Or else if you are continuously working with lots of data continuously, or making many updates, many inserts, in between you can define any save point so that if anything goes wrong, instead of restoring complete data, you can restore the data to that particular save point. Am I clear? Any confusion on this TCL commands?
No, no, no. At the save point, I would like to know a little bit more about this.
Okay.
This save point is used for particularly temporary data, right?
It's not temporary data. It will just save temporarily. That's it.
Okay, okay, it will. Okay,
Save the data temporarily. Suppose,
okay.
mhm,
If it will save temporarily,
correct.
and what if suddenly we will turn off the laptop or we will turn off everything, then it won't remain in the database.
Actually, not only whatever data we used, which is save point. I mean, after save point, whatever data we inserted, not only that data, once we turn off the auto commit option, whatever data we are entering, this two
Okay,
rows also, once the power is off, once the system got shut down, all these four rows, actually we don't lose the data, but it will give us error stating, this data is not saved into the database. Do you want to save or not? It will just throw us an alert once we on the system. Then if
okay,
suddenly we closes that alert box, then we will lose the data. But before closing, if we save that, it will be committed again.
okay, okay. Now
Okay.
clear. Yeah.
Okay, wait. So yeah, mostly save points maybe we will using banking domain only, because for every second we will get lots of transactions over there, right? In banking domain only, normally no need of using save points. And especially this TCL commands, I can say this was used for ourselves whenever we are not sure about, whatever we are working, whatever queries we will, sometimes we will just you do something like trial and error, right? So to make us to feel to be on the safer side, we will just turn off the auto commit option. We will do whatever update we wanted to do. If it is correct, then once it is correct, we should definitely execute commit command, then only the data will be committed, right? We should not forget to use commit. Suppose I did update, I checked the output, it is correct, then I need to execute one commit command. Then only whatever update I made, that will save permanently into the database. And again I need to turn off the auto commit turn on the auto commit option. Okay, usually we will do like that in real time. Suppose after update, if I saw whatever I got the output that is wrong, then simply I can say rollback and I can try with the some other code, like that. And to turn on auto commit option, we have, once everything is done, again we need to turn on the auto commit option, because by default we need to always keep this workbenches, we need to always keep this databases auto commit tools only. So to turn on auto commit, we need to use set auto commit equals to 1. If it is equals to 0, then it will turn off. If it is equals to 1, then it will turn on auto commit option. Okay, at the end of the day we need to turn it on, because going forward whatever we do, that will be saved permanently, right? It will be useful for us only, just to be on the safer side we will use these concepts, right? So this is about TCL commands. Next we have DQL. Maybe at the top I wrote only DQL, but in some resources you can even find it as DRL, both are same. Okay, so let me write at the bottom, DQL or DRL, that is nothing but data query language or data retrieval language. Both are same. Okay, in some resources you will find it as data query language, in some resources you can find it as data retrieval language. Both are same, and we have only one command in it, that is select command, which we already know. Select command is used to display the data, right? If you wanted to display the complete data, we will use select star from table name. If you wanted to see any particular column data, then you will use that particular column names in the place of star, right? Which we already discussed, so I'm not repeating again. So this is about the complete sub languages concept: DDL, DML, DCL, TCL, and DQL. I hope it is clear, right?
It's clear.
Perfect. So with this, we are done with our sub languages concept. Important. All the commands we will use in real time. So important. Next concept. Let's start next concept. Still we have time, right? So the next concept is integrity constraints. Okay. Integrity constraints is nothing but constraints, in the sense it's a kind of rule. Okay, I mean English meaning of constraint in the sense rule. Okay, so on the column level, if we want, we can apply some constraints or rules. Okay, so we have basically some types of integrity constraints in SQL. Those are not null constraint, unique constraint, primary key, foreign key, check constraint, default constraint. Okay, so not null constraint, unique constraint, primary key, foreign key, check constraint, and default constraint. Six types of constraints we have in SQL. Whenever it is required, we will just define these constraints on column level. Let's see one by one. Okay, first not null constraint. Not null constraint is nothing but, suppose on any column you don't want to accept null values, then you need to define not null constraint on that column. Okay, we don't want null values, definitely we want some data inside the table. Then we need to define not null constraint on the column level. How to define in the sense, let's see one by one. Let's create some tables. Maybe just a second. Maybe I'll create customer table. Okay, so create table. Table name is customer. Okay, I'll give some column names like customer ID, integer data type. Okay, so in this customer ID, I don't want to allow null values because I want always I need some data in the customer ID for sure. I don't accept null values. In that scenarios, I need to define not null constraint on this CID column. And every time we will define the constraints on the column level itself. That is whenever we are defining column, at that time only we will define. Usually after column name, we will define data type, right? After data type, I can write a keyword called as not null. That means I am defining not null constraint on CID column. I'm expecting some data in CID column, it cannot be null. That is the concept here. Okay, comma, maybe customer name varchar. Okay, like this, just a keyword called as not null after writing data type. That's it. I'm just creating the table, 2 columns are enough. And let's insert the data. Insert into customer values. I'm giving customer ID 1 and the name is some randomly I'm giving something. It will accept. Okay, now if I am trying to insert any null value, it won't accept. And null value in the sense, don't think that we will keep it as blank. If we write like this, okay, if I'm writing like this, if I don't write anything, I just keep a comma and I'm trying to write customer name, don't think that this is a null value. Okay, if I'm just executing like this, it will throw me error stating syntax error. Okay, null values in the sense, we need to use a keyword called as null here, then only we'll consider it as a null value. We should not think that null values in the sense blank data. If you don't write anything, it will be null. It's not like that. Null values in the sense, here we need to write a keyword called as null. Okay, I don't want null values. I don't want null values in CID. That is the reason I define not null constraint. But I'm trying to give the null value, then definitely it will throw me error stating column CID cannot be null because I already defined not null constraint, right? On whatever columns we don't want to accept null values, we will just define this constraint on the column level. Going forward, anyone, if you are entering the data, if you are inserting the data, if they give null values, it won't accept. Okay, simple. Next, unique constraint. Unique constraint in the sense, suppose, okay, did I here, let me give the definition. Not null constraint, it will not allow null values. Okay, that is the definition. And unique constraint, it will not allow duplicate data. That is nothing but unique constraint. By seeing the name itself, we will understand the data should be unique. In any column, if you don't want to accept duplicate data on that column, we need to define unique constraint. Okay, let's see, maybe I'll create some other table. Create table manager. Okay, in this table, I'll write first manager ID, integer data type, comma, manager name, varchar data type.
Excuse me, it will not allow, right? Duplicate data?
Yeah, sorry, it will not allow. Correct. It will not allow duplicate data. Okay. In hurry, I missed writing not here, but it will of course change the complete meaning here. It will not allow duplicate data. Okay. So manager ID, integer data type, manager name, varchar data type, and maybe I'll give some age column, again integer data type. So in two ways we can define unique constraint here. Suppose here in MID column, I don't want to allow duplicate data. I can define unique keyword after writing data type for that particular column. However, we did it for not null. After writing data type, we define not null, right? In the same way, here also after writing data type, I can just write unique. Then that is we are defining unique constraint on MID column. Duplicate data if you are trying to enter, it won't accept. This is one way. Or else instead of defining here directly, what we can do, after defining all the columns, at the end we will keep a comma and I'll write unique keyword. Let me write it at the bottom, unique, and within the brackets I will write MID. Like this also we can write both ways. Either you can write unique keyword here directly after integer, I mean after data type, or else at the end after writing all column names we will keep a comma and we will start writing unique keyword, and within the brackets, that is I am defining unique constraint on MID column. Both the ways we can use. Why specifically we are using at the end, in the sense we can define multiple unique constraints on single table. I'll show you. First let's create this. The table got created. Let's check insert into manager values, manager ID, maybe manager name, age. Okay. Mm, okay, I just randomly give two rows here, and I said that my manager ID should be unique. Suppose if I try entering like this, insert into manager values, I'm giving once again manager ID 2. I'm trying to give some other data here. Okay. And if I'm inserting, it will throw me error stating duplicate entry 2 for key manager dot manager ID, because I already entered 2 here as manager ID. Once again I'm trying to enter manager ID same. That is the reason it is throwing me error stating duplicate entry. We already entered 2 here, so we can't enter duplicate data again. That is the error we got, right? Because we already defined the unique constraint here. Clear?
Yes.
And as I said, unique constraint we can define on multiple columns also. Let's see. Suppose I'll create one more table, create table manager. I'll just give an underscore called as mul, just to show you multiple columns with the same column names maybe. Manager ID, manager name, age. And at the end, what I'll write, I will write unique, and within the brackets, I will write MID, comma, age. So if I write, why we are writing unique constraint at the end here, in the sense we can define multiple unique constraints on single table, and combination columns also we can create unique constraint. If I am writing within the brackets, if I am writing MID comma age, that means here I am trying to create a unique constraint on the combination of this both columns. MID and age together considered as a unique. So let's see. Let's insert data, then we can understand easily. Insert into manager mul values. So maybe manager ID 1, manager name something, age something, comma manager ID 2, some name, some age. Now I'm just inserting this data. Okay. And again, I'm trying to insert into manager mul values. I'm giving data like this. Suppose if it is 1, some name and some age. So will this, can this, will it accept this, or will it throw us error?
It will give error because there is not unique values. One and one is the same, right?
Right. But when it will applicable, in the sense whenever I used only MID here. I used MID and age here, and I'm saying combination of these columns will considered as unique. That means here 132 I have,
Okay.
130 I have. Like that, combinedly combination of those two columns it will check. If I
Oh,
gave 32 here, then only it will considered as a duplicate data. I gave 30 here, so it will accept. Okay,
okay.
like that also. If we want to define combinedly, then we will use within the brackets like this, and we can mention how many columns we want here. Now again, if I am executing insert into maybe 2, maybe some name, and maybe 34, it will consider as duplicate data because 234 234, right? Now it won't accept. And in the error message you can see duplicate entry 234 for the key manager.mid. 234 combination data it is taking because I wrote like this. Individually also we can define unique constraint on two columns, or else combinedly also we can define. Within the brackets if we are writing like this, that means we are defining combinedly. Instead of that, suppose if I wrote, if I created any table like this, okay, here if I use unique constraint, okay, and after int again if I use unique constraint, this means I'm defining unique constraint on mid and I'm defining unique constraint on age, but separately. Okay, not combinedly. If within the brackets, if we I used unique keyword and within the brackets I'm using any columns, that means combinedly I'm defining unique constraint on both of those columns. If I wanted to define unique constraint here on two columns, but individually this mid is does it separately it should be unique, age separately it should be unique, then in that scenarios we will use unique after data type. Okay, let's check. The table got created. Insert into manager mul1 values, suppose 1. Okay, now once again let me insert. I'm inserting 2. I'm giving some. Now definitely it will throw me error because individually I defined unique constraint on mid. It doesn't matter, it won't check with the age column, only it will check for mid column, and it will throw me error here because individually I defined. See, duplicate entry 2 for table name dot column name, because 2 here it will consider as unique. I mean, it's a duplicate data, right? Suppose in the same way, if I give 3 here and if I try to give 35 here, again it won't accept. Usually in real time for age, we don't expect to be unique. Definitely ages can be duplicate, but still just to show an example, I'm using age column here, right? We can have multiple persons same age, no problem. But here just instead of other columns, I used age column. Okay. So suppose 35 and 35 is already there, again it will throw us error because I defined, see, error entry 35, right? Because individually if you wanted to check, if you wanted to give unique constraints, you will use unique keywords after writing data type. Combinedly if you wanted to check, we will write within the brackets like this. After writing unique keyword within the brackets, we will write like this. Clear, right?
It's clear.
Perfect. This is about unique constraint. Okay. Next we have primary key. Maybe in tomorrow's class we will see primary key. Okay. Primary key is important in every table. We will have a primary key. Primary key is nothing but, let me just write a definition. Primary key is nothing but it will not allow null values and duplicate data. Okay, previously not null, it won't allow only null values. Unique constraint, it won't allow duplicate data, but whenever we are defining primary key, it will not allow null values as well as duplicate data, both. It will not allow both. Okay, so let's check. Let's create a table quickly. Maybe I'm creating some category table. Create table category. Okay, category id, I'm just giving cid normally. Integer data type comma category name, varchar data type, varchar of 10. Okay, 2 columns are enough. So in this cid column, I wanted to define primary key. So to define primary key, after writing data type, we will write a keyword called as primary key. That's it. Okay, so here I'm defining primary key on CID column. That means it should not allow null values and duplicate values into the CID column. Okay, it got created. Let's check. Insert into category values. Category ID is 1, comma. I'm giving some horror movies categories I'm talking about. And next maybe comedy. Okay, something like this. I'm inserting data. Okay, and if I enter null values, it will not accept. If I give cid as null, and if I'm trying to give any category, it will not accept. It will throw me error stating column cid cannot be null because I already defined primary key. In the same way, if I am trying to use once again 2 and I'm trying to give any mm, anything, just a second, what kind of,
It's like action.
yeah, action, right, action. Okay, 2 is already repeated, it is duplicate data, so again it will throw us error stating duplicate entry 2 for key category dot primary. Normal duplicate entry errors, we will get two types, right? Duplicate entry value for key table name dot column name. If you see, you can understand there is a unique constraint error. And if you see table name dot primary, then you need to understand that is a primary key error, because someone will create tables and we will work on it, right? Just as a difference, we can check like this. If it is table name dot column name, that will be unique constraint error. Table name dot primary, I mean, about the duplicate entry, I'm saying table name dot primary, then that is a error due to the primary key constraint. Okay, so when on whatever column we will define primary key, on that column we cannot enter null values, we cannot enter duplicate data, so that I can say that columns is used to identify the data uniquely all the time. So in every table, whenever we are dealing with a perfect database, in every table we will have a primary key column, so that by using that columns only we can identify the data, uniquely. So almost all id columns will be defined as primary keys, which I'll show you once we deal with our real time data. But here in primary key, we have one rule in SQL that every table will have only one primary key. Every table will have only one primary key. Okay, we can create only one primary key in each table. We cannot create multiple primary keys. This is a rule of SQL. And let me show you one thing here. This is category table. Whenever we are defining primary key, and if we select table here in the information section, you can see on this table name, after writing data type, you can see pk, that is nothing but an indication that we already have primary key here. One more indication, the column name will be underlined and it will, we can able to see in bold characters here. Okay, and whenever we are defining, I mean, we are displaying the data, select star from category, you can able to see last line null values in the output. If you see last like this, last line null, then that means it's not table data. After table at the end, you can see null, that means we defined a primary key on this table. This is one more indication. Okay, whatever it is, only one primary key is allowed in multiple tables. If we really wanted to create multiple primary keys, what we need to do, I'll tell later. Okay, with this we are done with primary key also, and I hope it is clear. Okay, And with this, we are done with our demo classes. Whoever will get register for them, they will get a new Zoom link. Please follow that Zoom link and join tomorrow at 7 p.m. only. And while joining, if possible, try to log in by your system, so that I will ask you to share your screen and I'll show you tomorrow installation process of MySQL.
Okay, okay. Actually, I registered Divya. I have sent a message to them through WhatsApp. They asked me to send mail, like screenshot and all.
Okay.
When I send mail, it is showing like mail is in queued. So I'm trying to send again. They have
Okay.
given some other mail ID also. I'll send to that now.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, I will.
Please send it, or else I'll ask them to contact you by tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, then log in by using your laptop, no? So that first we'll
Thank.
finish installation process and then we'll continue with the class.
Yeah, I'm doing with laptop only almost. Thank
Okay,
you.
okay, fine.
Yeah.
All right then. Bye.
Yeah.